We will now transition into today's content, beginning with an overview of demographic trends in Oceano compared to trends in the nearby region. These trends reflect changes in the population and number of jobs available in Oceano and neighboring communities. This graph shows the average annual percentage increase in population in Oceano, Grover Beach, and San Luis Obispo County from 2000 to 2015. Oceano has been growing twice as fast as some of its neighbors, but not nearly as fast as the county. Historically, the average annual change in jobs reflects a similar story. Between 2002 and 2015, Oceano grew faster than some of its neighbors, and faster than the county at large. But these numbers don't tell the whole story. Although the number of jobs in Oceano has been growing steadily, the ratio of available jobs to the number of individuals eligible to work has been low compared to neighboring communities and the county. This chart shows that in Oceano, the number of jobs available to number of people in the labor force has historically been about 1/3 that of the county, and lately, just about 1/2 that of its neighbors. In other words, fewer job prospects are available to people aged 16 and over in Oceano compared to those in neighboring communities and the county. We are now going to present 3 alternative strategies for growth in Oceano based on this data. The jobs to labor force ratio helps us determine growth targets for jobs, population, and housing in 2040. The first alternative, or baseline growth, is constructed from recent historical data of jobs to labor force ratio in Oceano. The second alternative, which is moderate growth and redevelopment, tries to emulate neighboring communities by setting the target to half the jobs to labor force ratio of those neighboring communities. And the final alternative, the maximum growth and reuse, aspires to match the rate of neighboring communities. According to census data, in 2015, there were 827 jobs in Oceano. The future job availability for all 3 alternatives by the year 2040 are as follows. For the baseline growth, 910 jobs, as shown in orange. For the moderate growth alternative, roughly 1,400 jobs, shown in gray. And finally, for the maximum growth alternative, there's roughly 1,900 jobs, as shown in gold. In 2015, the population in Oceano was approximately 7,800. For the baseline growth alternative, the population is expected to grow to approximately 9,200 people by 2040, which is an increase of over 1,300 people during the 25-year span. This has been calculated according to natural factors such as birth, death, and migration. This chart represents the growth targets for the moderate and maximum alternatives, shown in red and gold respectively, along with the projected population growth for the baseline scenario by 2040. The population increase by 2040 in the moderate growth scenario is to be over 2,400 people, while in the maximum growth scenario, population increase is to be over 3,400 people. To prepare for future additions of jobs and population, each alternative includes opportunities for housing growth. New units can usually be provided in 3 housing types: low, medium, and high density. Low density is shown in blue, medium density is shown in red, and high density is shown in gold. Considering the limited opportunities for outward growth and the number of vacant parcels in Oceano, higher density housing must be prioritized to accommodate all population growth scenarios. The following slides outline a few key definitions of planning terms that will be used frequently throughout the presentation. This graphic provides an illustration of low, medium, and high density housing. The following are the current housing density rates in Oceano according to our land use inventory. Low density residential is 0.5 to 6 units per acre. Medium density is 6 to 10 units per acre, and high density accounts for 11 to 20 plus units per acre. Housing density is one of the key areas that varies greatly across the three alternative growth scenarios. We want to provide you with a visual for the three different housing density levels discussed in each alternative. The images presented here show examples of houses built at low, medium, and high densities. Low density housing includes up to 6 units per acre and is typically seen in the form of single family detached units as shown above. Medium density housing includes 6 to 10 units per acre and typically includes row houses and townhomes as shown above. And high density housing includes 11 to 20 plus units per acre and is typically in the form of townhouses, condominiums, and apartments. Above is an example of high-density residential apartments. An accessory dwelling unit, or ADU, is a smaller independent residential dwelling unit located on the same lot as a single-family detached home. ADUs go by many different names throughout the United States, including accessory apartments, secondary suites, and granny flats. ADUs come in many forms, including basement conversions, standalone units such as converted garages or detached structures, and attached units to new or existing homes. This presentation also makes reference to mixed-use developments, which can be defined as the combination of land uses in one parcel. This can typically be described as apartment-style housing over commercial uses such as grocery stores, offices, and retail establishments. The residential components are typically medium or high-density units and are an efficient way to accommodate both residential and commercial growth. And another important concept is that of complete streets. Complete streets accommodate roadway and curb space for all modes of transportation. As this graphic shows, this includes gathering spaces on sidewalks, bicycle lanes, and vehicle right-of-way for automobiles and transit. In essence, complete streets make it easier to cross the street, walk to shops, and bike to work without compromising vehicle activity.